but we'll open with just your name, the organization that you're with, and how it's relevant to startups and the investment community. So why don't you start there?
Okay. I'm Rob Guthrie with Export-Import Bank here based in San Francisco, headquarters, of course, in Washington, D.C. What we do is to help provide financing for primarily small businesses looking to expand their sales to foreign countries. Our main mission is to grow jobs here in the U.S. by giving them the comfort level to do that, expanding, being able to extend credit to a foreign buyer safely, knowing that if the foreign buyer defaults, they're going to be okay. We're going to reimburse them or their lender that makes the loan on their behalf. The term startup sometimes has more than one definition. We typically don't work with startups that have absolutely no sales. A startup may be a year in business, 2 years in business. What we're looking for is companies that have typically at least 1 year of sales. It doesn't have to be an export, but just actual business track record. If they don't have to have extended credit, they just have to have some sales so they understand how the process works, and if necessary, we can talk to the foreign buyer or the U.S. buyer to see how their product works. Are they comfortable with it, and for us to begin working with them.
And the use of proceeds of those, they're not equity investments, they're typically loans, or they're lines of credit?
They're either loan guarantees to their lender that's making the loan to a foreign buyer on their behalf, loan guarantees to the U.S. lender making a working capital loan to the U.S. exporter directly, or in most cases it's a credit insurance policy directly to the exporter so that they can extend 30, 60, 90 days to a foreign buyer and know that they're going to get at least 90% of what they didn't get from the foreign buyer.
And what about other use of proceeds outside of sort of a credit advance? Is there, for first sales, is there international manufacturing? Is there setting up an office internationally, or do most of these transactions revolve around purely sort of a customer buying a U.S. products and a focus on that export?
Right. The key to working with Exim Bank is that there be a transfer of title to a foreign registered company. So the proceeds are not, there are other agencies that help do what you're talking about, expanding, setting up offices in foreign countries. There is the Overseas Private Investment Corporation, or OPIC, a sister federal agency that does that. We are very limited into what we can do to expand their operations. We do have a small pilot project for up to $500,000 that can be used for any type of activity that expands their export sales. Some of us would like to see that expanded and the dollar amounts expanded. But for now, we're limited to about $500,000 for things like CapEx financing. So you'd have to find that elsewhere. What we focus primarily on is short-term working capital financing if it's domestic. Short-term meaning up to a 1 year repayment term from the borrower, and thus typically from